As soon as I get our YouTube streaming going, we will roll.
In the mouth.
You slow it down, you might.
Okay. You ever seen a 2 weeks old?
No, we're going, it's just be going, but one second. Two separate days.
I guess I'm not holding my mouth right, but yes, okay.
All right, Catch, you are live and online.
All right.
Spotlighted.
Okay. You folks ready?
Big.
Okay. Let me start a bit by talking about this fly. Right, Carlton? I want to start by talking about this fly a little bit.
I can hear you.
This is LaFleurs Charlie right here in chartreuse and chartreuse body, chartreuse wing. This one right here has got a gold body and a tan wing. This is something I'll be fishing starting about now through the winter time. The chartreuse is good just about any time of the year except during the winter months when the water's too kind of clear. It's maybe a little bit too bright. I tie the pink with both the pink body and pearlescent flash body. And this one works any time of the year. This is Mike LaFleur's favorite color for redfish. And this is his favorite color for speckled trout, the chartreuse. His saying is, if it ain't chartreuse, it ain't no use. And redfish like any color as long as it's pink. So a little bit about this fly. I want to show you something. Michael, back in the early 90s, there were a whole lot of variations on the Crazy Charlie. The pink Charlie. Any legacy fly that's very successful, you're going to have variations at the kazoo. And there were like 100 variations of the Clouser. There have been 100 variations of the Crazy Charlie. And we had two gentlemen in the club. One was tying something called the Pink Poodle, and the other one was tying something called the Cactus Charlie. And both of them had a flash body like this. Mike LaFleur was new to the club, and he wanted to tie these flies like this. And he asked me for where I'd get some craft fur. I said, Mike, I'd gone up to Somerset, the fly fishing show at Somerset. I don't know if you've been up there, Peter, but it's the world's largest fly fishing show. And a gentleman was there, a Coates Fly Shop from Massachusetts. I'd done a lot of business with him, his brother Ray, for rod building supplies. And he had a ton of this stuff out there at his booth, this craft fur. And apparently he bought some big skeins of it and repackaged it under his name. And so I bought some and I gave it to Mike, and Mike tied it up, and he gave me with the Estes body and the lead eyes. And then he gave me a couple of his that he had tied, and he said he was catching fish. So we go out one day and we're fishing in the marsh and near Grand Isle, and we're just waiting out on there was some sandbars out there, Elmer's Island. He was catching the heck out of the fish on this stuff. So I said, man, this is a great fly. But we noticed something. This, and if you get the chartreuse, how many of y'all have the chartreuse piece? Okay. You notice how much shimmer this stuff has? If you go buy craft fur at the hobby store or at a fly shop, you're not going to see this level of shimmy. In fact, on the pink one right here, it doesn't quite have that amount of shimmy in there. It has some, that's right. It does, but not all of them do, not craft fur. Because this wasn't craft fur. It turns out that the stuff that Koch brothers had brought in was from Europe. In Europe, it was called fun fur. And later it got marketed in the United States as fly fur. And in fact, I think I've got a bag right here. He remarked his stuff as fly fur after he found out that's what it was. But the difference is this is a high modacrylic fiber, and regular craft fur is a low modacrylic fiber. Doesn't sound like much of a difference until you see this stuff in the water. It really shimmers and it undulates really well. And there's a YouTube video out there. You can go see it. And somebody's explained the difference between craft fur and fly fur. So this is really fly fur right here. And yes.
When you buy it, it's fly fur.
Yes. Yeah. Now they're marketing it as fly fur.
Yeah.
So this is just not extra select craft fur?
The pink might be. The pink might be.
It's like extra select.
Yeah, yeah. Because you don't see as much shimmer. You don't see the shimmer in there like you do on the fly fur.
Well, I just bought a bunch of craft fur and this is different.
Yeah,
This is different.
yeah, it
Not
is.
just the shimmer, but
Yes,
it's great extra of it.
It's a crinkly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
and also it's the polarity is neutral. Regular craft fur has sort of an ionic. The fiber is kind of ionic, so when you put it in the water, it clumps a little bit more than this stuff. This stuff undulates a little bit better.
The Dakota angler has it and it's called Bears Fly Fur.
Yeah, but that's what they market. And then they've come out with something.
Color.
And since then, they've come out with something called polar fiber, which is even finer and approaches marabou as far as it's under. And so any of this is, if you want to tie something that keeps the shape of it, you probably want to stick with chip tail, the original, or, for the wing. If you want something that has a lot of undulation in it, then craft fur or fly fur. There's even a Charlie out there that has a marabou wing, but I find that after the speckled trout, they've eaten it a few times, it's gone. It's too soft. So this is the best stuff right here I found for making these flies. So the hook is a 3407 stainless steel mustad that I'm using. I imagine you can use the Tiemco version, or you could use a Gamakatsu B10S. That'll work fine. I just happened to, at one point in time, there was an estate sale, and the gentleman had 200 boxes of 3407, 3411 hooks, and I bought a ton of them. I have a lifetime supply.
What size hook is it?
It's a size 2.
Size 2. Okay.
Yeah, size 2. So, because I find that's the best size right there. You get the size 4, you're getting a little small because those speckled trout and redfish, the small, gets a little small. If you tie it too big, well, then your proportions kind of get out of sync a little bit. So this is about the best size right there for a lot of flies, Klausers, Charlies, just I tie. It doesn't hurt the fact that I've got about 40 boxes still left in this size hook. So I'm going to start my thread up, and you notice I don't cut the tag in. I just keep it there so I can keep these wraps. See if I have too much of a gap, I can just pull it like this. But what this does is it keeps the thread from twisting on you a little bit. Now, I watched a seminar with, and you want to bring it back to where it's past the barb of the hook. See, so it's going to go down the bend just a little bit like this. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it forward like this, open wraps. It doesn't hurt anything to do that. The 2 lengths behind the hook eye, 2 eye lengths behind the hook eye. Now, I went to a seminar with, who's our tying hero over there? Tim Flagler. Tim Flagler. And what Tim does is when he's putting his thread on these flies, he puts super glue or Zap-A-Gap really on there so that there's no twisting. He puts a lot of Zap-A-Gap on his flies. I'm not that, but he also does something else. He'll take his eyes like this, and notice what he does right there. He measures the eye from the length of the end of the hook like this, and wherever that falls That's where he puts his tie in, his eyes.
From the end of the hook, not counting the eye.
Right,
Yeah.
because these are big eyes. So, yeah, by the way, these are medium-sized lead eyes. If you look at medium, or they're 4.5 millimeters. So I'm gonna do a few figure eights like this across. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come under and over like this several times. And what that's doing is pulling it down on the hook. And now, after I've done a few of those, I'm gonna come and do wraps around the eyes like this, above the hook, but around the eyes. And what that does is it locks it in place. If you do it right, it's kind of hard to twist, a little hard to turn it. Now, what I could do at this point right here is take, and this is where I do agree with, I'll take the Zap-A-Gap and I'll put it right around the eyes a little bit. I won't do it this time, but that's usually what I do. And now that pretty much locks it in place. So then I'll bring my thread back, and you notice this thread's kind of uneven right now because of that. And that further helps to keep material from twisting on there. So I'm gonna do a chartreuse, since I already picked the chartreuse thread. I'm gonna tie a little bit. Now what you can do is pull this stuff off the end of it. Pull this material so that you have just the stem. It's not necessary with this fly because you're not really building up a body. You don't have to worry about building up a body, but I'm gonna do it for sake. I'm gonna do a little pinch method right here. Kind of lock it down. Tie it down like this. I'm gonna bring my thread forward.
Is this Estes?
Oh yeah, this is Estes, by the way. Now Estes comes in different sizes. This is the standard Estes right here.
I'm doing it for you.
And
You gotta know.
if you look at this fly,
You gotta make it go this.
when it's going to be wrapped, the Estes is going to be,
Do it good.
get out. It's going to be sticking out like that. See? Once it starts to get wet a few times, it lays back. It just all folds back like this. So don't worry too much about it right now. You know, how it's sticking out like the fibers. They'll all start to lay back. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this forward. And as I bring it forward, I want to stroke back the fibers so I don't, from the previous wrap, so I don't wrap over them. I don't have to make the wraps too tight, right up against each other. That's not necessary on this fly, but I do want to try to keep them close. Notice I stroke it back. I stroke it back. And this stuff is really good. And I could go one more time around. I think I will. And then what I'm going to do is make about 3 wraps like this. And this is important because your material.
In front of the eye.
No, don't bring in front of the eyes. You're making these wraps behind the eyes. Now, here's important. This stuff is on the bottom, see? And so is your thread. So what I'm going to do is take that thread and take it out of the way. And then I'm going to cut.
Put it on the thread, right?
You know,
Did you wrap the tie off the thread?
No, I just wrapped it. I just wrapped it 3 times.
Oh, okay, I didn't think you did that. Okay.
Yeah, I just wrapped it 3 times. Tie it off. You know, you could do that. I mean, at this point right now, in fact, that's not a bad idea, Mike. I can just do a couple of whip finishes like that. And that's going to pretty much keep in place.
Good, I didn't cut the line. You got glue all over you. I'm sorry.
I'm just doing that so I can see the eye better. Okay. Is there a compressed on there?
It might be. Aspect ratio might be.
Yeah, because it looks shorter there than it does here. Maybe I've just got wide vision. Panavision.
Oh, that's the word. Okay. I didn't hear the question.
You need to be involved. So anyway, I'm going to take this high. And I'm just going to turn it over like this. If you have a rotary vise like I do at home, well, actually, this is a rotary vise, but I have a true rotary at home. I just, flip it around like this. And now I'm going to tie the wing in. And what I do anytime I get a piece of craft fur is I cut on the back side like this with a razor blade. And I cut 1 inch squares. And that's 1 inch is pretty much what the material that you'll need right here. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more, but you figure it out. Because craft fur is never, homogeneous. Sometimes
the difference is that to get this much bulk in the craft fur, you gotta grab a bunch of top out.
Yeah, this is an inch by an inch.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, because most of this is under fur.
Exactly.
And so what we're going to do next is I take this stuff and I take a comb. You can use an old toothbrush. I found that works really well too. And that's why I asked to bring a comb. And I'm just going to.
Did you already cut it off the stick?
And I'm just going to. What's that?
Did you already cut it?
Not yet.
Okay, so you're getting the underfur off first?
I want to try to get some underfur off. See, there's a bunch of underfur on there already before I even cut it. It just makes it easier to cut. But you can see the amount of underfur that's on that section of craft fur compared to the long material like this. There's a lot of underfur on there. When I cut it, I want to stroke out the material so that it's as perpendicular to the skin as possible. See? I'm pulling away from the skin like that, straight out. And then I can come in with my scissors. I'm going to cut right next to the skin, as close as possible. Even if you think you got more than enough to cut away from the skin, you'll be surprised. You might end up using every bit of that.
We gotta get a piece of this out. What we gotta do is this. This is.
Okay.
That's where you don't see it.
So you see, I cut pretty close there to the skin. What that means is I've got a lot of underfur right there. See? See how much underfur I have?
You don't mess them up. That's probably tough.
So what you can do, anytime I tie materials like this, I have a box on my lap to catch it. I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to pull some of this underfur off by hand. Hold this tight so it flattens out like this, like that. And then just using your fingers. I got to get used to it.
Yeah, right. Thanks.
Like that makes
I'm just pulling like this. Now, what's even better is if I come in with the comb. One of the things I learned from Flagler when he was doing this is that he doesn't throw away this underfur. He actually saves it for dubbing. This makes a great alternative to Antron.
You heard me.
What's that?
Carlton literally said the same thing you said 10 seconds before you said it.
Okay. I couldn't hear him, but. So I'm just taking my comb and I'm just combing some of that stuff out. Now, right there, you know, I said it's not very consistent, every square inch of craft fur. And this one had a lot of fibers in there. So I might just pull some of these smaller ones out. This is way too much material to tie in. I don't want my wings too heavy. I want it a little bit sparse. I might even pull some of this away like this and divide it.
Oh, we're not gonna use all of them.
Not if you, well, in this case, for me, not all of it. What you want is when you pinch it down, this is about how much you want right there. See? It's kind of hard to describe, but what the width is at the base, but let's see if I cut it a little bit and I could show it to you on the camera. You
You
can
got a
see.
length on it, Catch, or you fix and measure it?
Okay, I want twice on this fly. I want twice the length of the shank of the hook. So it's going to go about right where you see it right there. And I actually use this right here as a measuring tool for these. You know, so I'll know, okay, right there, it ends about right where that material catch is, right there.
This is twice the length of the shank, not the entire hook.
Right. And so traditionally a Charlie has a short wing like this, right? But Mike went with the longer wing on his, and it's a secret sauce to it. It has a lot more undulation in the water, and so it attracts the fish more. The fish seldom, you know, tail bite a fly. They usually go for what? They go for the eyes. They'll go to the front of the hook. So, okay, let me show you how to do this because you want horizontal presentation on this fly like this as far as the wing and the body. So what I do is to keep it from, you know, if you come with the thread pressure like this and you do like that, it's going to wrap that material around.
Yeah,
like
your
this.
thread's in front of the eye, right?
Yes. Yes, threads in front of the eye right now. Just in front of the eye,
Yeah.
too. Notice it's not near the eye of the hook. It's right in front of the eye of the fly.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, kind of keep this material lined in a vertical fashion and keep it from spreading, is I'm going to wrap the thread around the whole shank like that. You see what I did? Let me show you to you again. I take the material like this and I wrap thread around it. Okay, and then I kind of pinch it down right here with my fingers just in front of the eye. And I hold pressure as I pinch it down, as I pull down. And so see what happens right there? It stays in a vertical fashion. I mean, horizontal, vertical fashion, like this. And I can adjust it a little bit if I want to. I'm going to come back and again, keeping this thing tight in my fingers between the eyes, I make several tight wraps like that. All right. Now you see this tag in right here? I'm going to pull it up like this. just off the hook. I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna cut it like this. If you have too much material, it's hard to cut it. Okay. I'm gonna tell you a little secret to this that I should have done. I didn't want to show it to y'all. But if you take your saliva before you do what we did, and you do this on the end of that material, it really packs it down. And you don't have all these little strays that I have right here.
That's a cancer warning in California.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna come back
You
and
buy the stuff, you want to tell them.
the camera shows all the little imperfections in there. You're familiar with that, huh, Bill?
I am, yes.
But that's okay because trust me,
I'm used to it by now.
Yeah, if I was just slow on.
So I make a few more wraps, just kind of build up the head a little bit. And then I'm going to do a whip finish on the end.
You're gonna do what?
Whip finish, or you can do whatever finish knot you want.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to this fly. Well, there is one other thing I'm going to show you. If you're tying any type of wing pattern like this, where you're fastened just by the tips right there, you can pull this stuff out, this material out. Now, bucktail and kiptail, it's harder to do because it's hollow. So when you put all that thread pressure on there, it kind of flattens that end out like that a little bit. So it makes bucktail and kiptail a little bit harder to pull out. But this stuff right here is slick, and it's got the same diameter at the end that it has at the butt section. And so I could come in here and if I pull hard enough, I pull this out. And once I pull a few out, all the rest start coming out a lot easier. Why I
So this fly is facing hook up?
Yes, it's gonna swim hook up like this.
Oh, okay.
So what I want to do, and the reason I say that is because some people come in and they'll put UV epoxy on this. But this in a closet, you really don't want to do a UV epoxy except as a finish. What you really want to do right here is put something that soaks into the thread and binds those fibers to the thread and binds them and keeps them there. So that if the first fish hits it and pulls out, tries to pull out the fibers, it won't work.
So the UV epoxy, what's different than that than like cement hair or in the case of the nail hardener?
It doesn't penetrate. It's more viscous
and a lot of fish eating it and get torn up potentially.
Yeah, it's better for protecting like the thread wraps on, but not for penetrating and getting inside the material right here and binding it together. Oh, there. So, it works really good. Good old hard as nails.
Yeah.
Can't beat it. And so what I do is instead of putting it directly on with the little brush that comes in there, I usually put it on a piece of aluminum foil. And that way, and I take my bodkin, and it gives me a little more control, and it also doesn't leave that bottle open. for a longer period of time, which
Make sure we got that open. They're all hard work.
I want to put some between the eyes right there, you see? Just a little dab between the eyes right there, where there's some exposed thread. And what I'm gonna do is you want to let it sit and dry. So I'll take this and I'll put it on a little stand like this, or even a pool noodle, piece of pool noodle like this, and let it dry. You always want to let it dry before you apply a second coat.
Yeah.
And actually, it's going to penetrate. And by the time this stuff is dried, you'll see some exposed threads on the top a little bit. So that second application, you can also come back and do UV epoxy now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Squeeze it, it's gonna.
Pool noodle foam has 1,000 uses in fly time and fishing.
Fish.
Yeah, that's right. So before we get started on tying the second one, I want to show you something. I probably talked about it before. This came up again on Facebook, the forum, and it was that you can't save money tying flies. Well, I'm here to argue you can.
I'll agree with you.
First of all, if you've priced any flies lately, saltwater flies, they're pretty pricey. They're, on average $8 to $15. Yeah, exactly. And, the materials are not that much. So what I do is I'll buy materials. I'll put the materials I need into a bag, like this Ziploc bag. Enough to tie maybe 3 dozen, 4 dozen flies. And that's LaFleurs Charlie. So what I do is I buy the big box of 3407 size 2 hooks. I have a little container in here where I put those, put about 30 hooks in there. Okay. And then I'll put 30 hooks in the clouser, and I'll put 30 hooks in the The same thing with the lead eyes. I'll put enough to tie 30 flies and all that. So I have my inventory here, and I manage the inventory for each fly. I have 40 of these bags at my house. So I have 40. So there are 40 flies that I tie, and that's it. Somebody asked me to tie, a red copper john with wings and I don't know, something. No, I'm not doing it.
You're gonna have to go to more than one bag. You're not going to more than one bag.
I'll go buy that fly because I'm fishing enough. These are the flies that I do 99% of my fishing with are in those 40 bags. Okay. And it includes everything from, parachute atoms
To tell
to,
you a real story about expensive stuff for flies. So I bought that bead chain, the bead chains, the little bit where you cut them.
yeah.
And then I was telling a story to a friend at work this morning, and he looked up and there was the fang. Bead chain says,
Actually not. You want to buy stainless bead chains, yeah. But to your point, you can get them on Amazon. You can get a ton of them on Amazon for $12. You go in the fly shop and you get like maybe 20 for $12. So yeah, you can save money. Stuff that if I find, if I get into a good deal and I buy some stuff like I did in this case where I bought a bunch of stuff, I put the rest of it into a bag called bulk. See? So I have bulk LaFleurs Charlie right here. So if I run out of stuff in my main bag, right here, I go to my bulk bag and look for it there and replace it. And someday the bulk bag will go down to nothing. And then I might actually have to buy something. So anyway, and then here's my, I've got two of these bags. One's for fresh water and one's for salt water. You can buy these bags at Walmart, what, for $7? I put everything I need in there, the vise, maybe, some of my tools and all that. I keep in these trays like this that I have over there. And I put the bags, if I'm going to Little Mo, I pick up the bags for flies for the Little Mo. Okay. And if I'm going to, fish Lake Fork, I pick up the bags to tie bass flies. If I'm going to the coast, I pick up the bags. So, what I'm saying is organization can save you a lot of money. A lot of money.
You look like you're whichever one you want to do at the time.
So let's tie another fly. One more. And as always, I flatten the barb on the hooks. Somebody was asking me about that at Fly Fest. I gave a presentation on kayak fishing for redfish. And somebody asked me when I mentioned this, that I always pinch the barbs down on my hook. Somebody asked me, don't you lose a lot of fish that way? I can count on one hand the number of fish I've lost in the last 3 years in the marsh, with pinch barb hook down. You can see it, if you look at it closely, even if it's pinched down like that, you still have a little bit of something to hold that fish on right there. But really, it's not the barb that holds that fish in. It's the end of the hook and keeping pressure on there. If you put slack on any fish, even if it's got, hook's got a barb, chances are you're going to lose that fish. All right. So this time I'm gonna tie a pink fly, pink Charlie. And somebody asked me about this last time I did this fly. I think it was a Acadiana. Does it make a difference as to what color pink you use? And the answer is no. Pink is pink, and this is kind of the was it the fire pink or something like that? The hot pink. This is hot pink. Both the crapper and the thread, but the old standard pink works just as well. Okay. Now this one I'm going to tie with, I'm starting to use these brass eyes as opposed to lead eyes, only because I've got to be a good conservationist now. There's the conservation committee. They demand it, right, Bill? They demand that I practice conservation. So I'm going to put it like 2 eye lengths. Do a few figure eights. Then come back underneath on each side.
That's right. That's right.
Whoop.
That's very kind of cool. Remember what we did next?
And the more of those that you do where you pull it down on each side, the more of the, I don't know if you can see it from here. Well, let's see if I can get it close. I can't see it. But if you go to Tim Flagler's videos, he's got a good shot of this and shows what it does. When you wrap around these eyes like that, the more threads you've got, the more tension it puts on those eyes. That thing was locked pretty good, I have to tell you. You can still use Zap Gap, whatever. But Okay, I'll bring it back. Thread right here.
And what we do.
I'm gonna use this crystal Estes. And again, you can pull some of the end off if you want. Give you a better bind. But like I said, I don't find this really necessary. And we'll bring it right behind the eye like this. I'm gonna start my wrap almost like 45 degrees forward. And as I bring it forward, pull back on the previous wrap, I pull the fibers back. I could probably go one more, if I will. Three wraps. Come back and pull this thread out of the way.
I went and got it. Yeah. You want to take it out that.
And just wrap, make one wrap with the thread in front of the eyes.
Yep. It's fine. So we want to wrap that.
By the way, this is one thing you pick up, we go to shows anywhere, pick up a few things. This light right here, I went to the Texas Brew Festival when they had it in Dallas. And there was a gentleman there, and he had a light like this and had no plug-in. And I said, where's your electricity? He said, there is none. It's a battery-powered light. You can get them on Amazon. And yeah, it's got adjustments for color, radiant, intensity, and everything on there. Right now, I've got it plugged in because I forgot to plug it, forgot to charge it before I came here today. But it just plugs in on USB like this. But it's really cool. It comes in handy when you don't have. Are we ready for the wing? Okay. What are we going to do in this wing first?
Going it out the same way.
Yeah, kind of brush it, get this.
I bet it.
Again, look at the fibers you get out of it.
Yeah, you can do it anywhere.
Now, I say the craft fur is nice, consistent. Here's another 1-inch square, but it doesn't have. It's not nearly as thick as what we cut a while ago. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna kind of pull out the fibers, brush them out away from the skin.
He wouldn't know what he's doing.
And then try to cut this thing as close to the skin as possible.
It's.
Once again, I have a lot of stuff at the end. It's all under fur. So I'm gonna take my comb. Once again, and you can do this by hand. There's your dubbing material, by the way. Decided to keep this dubbing. All right. So there's your wing.
Susan goes down.
Again, I want to make it. I want to make it about twice the length of the shank with hook. And come over and around. Whoop. That's why you have to pinch it down a bit. I can adjust it right there. Then hold it tight while you pinch down, pull down. There you go. That looks about right. Okay. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a few more wraps of thread. Pull this tag end up. You know, now I'm gonna use my saliva. Let me do that. We didn't do this during COVID, but we can do it now.
Yeah, on your redfish flies, you're putting in weed guards.
No,
You gotta go choose.
you know, I fish like flip pallets, Prince of Tides in area. It's a bend back where it has no weight to it. It's basically, it rides up like this, and so it doesn't catch weeds and stuff. And I cast in heavy weed stuff, and it's just not.
They say the flies need to have weed guards, so I was just curious if ways that people do them.
Yeah, I've done it. I put weed guards on fresh water, but we just don't have as much marsh grass as we used to have. If you go into the Sabine Refuge between Calcasieu and Sabine Lake, there's a lot of vegetation in there. And that's one place you could probably use a weed guard, but down the central part of the coast, all the way to Venice and all that, not necessary.
Beach is going there.
Oh, yep. These are migrating.
I said local. I said local.
Guess farm.
That's my hour, I thought better now.
So, there we go. That's a good looking, it's a good color combination right there. Pink and pink works well. With pink and
Got it done, but.
the one thing I'll tell you is because this material is unlike bucktail, it doesn't thicken as it goes down to the stem. It stays the same diameter. You can come in here and you've got some long sections, like I've got a couple of long pieces in here. I can actually, cut the tail or even taper that tail a little bit. It's not going to impact the action or make it look too bad. Like this.
But yes, there's.
Like that. Looks better now.
But it's spooky.
So Bill, you and Robert going to talk about smallmouth trip?
Yes, on the 27th, we're doing a presentation on our summer small.
And in case any of y'all haven't heard, our Christmas party is December the 8th, second Monday. Peter, you gonna fly to Alexandria to attend?
Yeah, I already have my ticket booked.
Hey, look, you know,
Yeah, we still haven't gotten the recipe.
I was in your neck of the woods last year in November. I was there for the Fly Tying Symposium.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that you travel around quite a bit.
And, you know, I told my wife, I said, you know, I've got some money, but time is not my ally these days. I'm gonna travel. And I said, you sure you don't want to go on vacation to Europe or anything? She said, I want to go to Alaska because I'm there and she hasn't. And so, and she loves to hike. She was president of the hiking club.
Oh, wow.
She wants to go there. And so she's been making plans and booking and everything. We were supposed to go back in 2020, and then this little thing came along. We had to cancel our plans.
Little thing called COVID.
Yeah. Boy, she was unhappy about that. She made all these plans to go and everything crashed on it.
Well, Alaska's great for fishing and hiking.
Oh, yeah, it's a remarkable place. It really is. We had gone last time up into the Yetna River Valley. I stayed at Wilderness Place Lodge for about a week.
Wow.
And then came back down and went on Kenai. And that was pretty special. But the place we stayed at was about 75 miles northwest of Anchorage. And we fished. We must have had 8 different wars we fished.
Wow. I've never been to Alaska. No, I've never gone.
You haven't?
I've never gone to Alaska. No, I've been to Canada several times, but never Alaska.
Oh, what part of Canada?
Western Ontario.
Oh, pike and smallmouth?
Pike and smallmouth. Yep.
Oh, man, that's, yeah.
I can send you the link. You can join us.
What's that?
I can send you the link and you can join us.
Okay. I did some smallmouth fishing in Michigan. I went there for Fly Fest
Oh, yeah. I saw
a couple weeks back.
Wow, you do travel.
Yeah, I was fishing a small section of the Thornapple River, which has pike and muskie and smallmouth. I caught 17.5-inch smallmouth and a 20-inch smallmouth. And
Wow.
I caught a couple of pike that were 24, and I missed a big pike. But I didn't hit any muskie. But the next day, the guide I took caught a muskie, and it was pretty good size. I mean, it wasn't, the trophy size that you see in Canada, but any muskie is a heck of a fish to catch.
Oh yeah, I've never caught a muskie. what weight rod did you use?
I was using an 8-weight.
Some people tie
That's what he
it.
fishes for.
And,
The left side up.
you know, I was throwing some 10, 12-inch flies. And I didn't think you could throw them on an 8-weight. But, you know, after a while, man, I had my mojo down. I was tossing those suckers pretty good. I was targeting everything.
You used the guide?
Yes. Yeah, we, this was just, inner tube float, you know, float goes inner tube. You can run a motor on this river because there's too many logs and snags and shallow spots. We had to portage at least 3 times.
Oh, wow.
But when the water's higher, you know, he says the.
Want me to set this down?
What's that?
Want to set this down?
Just put it over there. On that table. When the water's higher, he said, smaller fishing is better. When the water's low like that, he said they find the deeper spots in the river and they just kind of hook her down. So, you know, and then of course when it gets winter time, they go into this place to hook her down. I miss the hoppers.
You went up there with a group of friends?
No, I just went up there by myself. I went up for the Fly Fishers International.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'd gone to FFI events in the past when they used to have companies in different places. I've gone to Montana for one, and they had one in Tennessee, Kalispell, Idaho Falls. Most of the ones out west.
Wow, you've done a lot of traveling for fishing.
Yes. I tell you, I had a great job for it because I worked in the finance department. My degree's in physics, but somehow I ended up with a chemical company and I had a minor in chemistry. But they put me into data management. First, I was doing computer programming, and later I was doing projects. And I worked with the financial department. And the finance department has to close at the end of the month each month. And sometimes you put in 72-hour weeks, 80-hour weeks. It's crazy. The company was really good. They said for every hour you worked overtime, you get an hour off.
Sally gonna come to Christmas.
Good company.
And as it was, I was, you know, started in most of my time, I was getting 6 weeks vacation.
I think that bag.
So like 10 weeks of vacation.
Whatever you pick, he picks a pattern,
Got to go, you know.
buy the materials for that pattern, everything is easy. It's all.
They say you can either have time or you can have money. So I had the time. I had some money.
Yeah, I like that attitude. Some money and time. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
if you want
the time was more important. I had the
This one
time.
is.
So I did a lot of fishing. I think I did more fishing back when I was working than I do now. It seems like.
Wow.
And I live on a lake.
Must have 30. What's
that?
Lead eye.
You live on a lake?
I live on a lake, yes.
Yeah.
And
You got a
I
rough.
don't fish as much as I used to.
Oh, okay.
I haven't fished on it this week at all.
Shielded.
Not since last Thursday.
On the trail. A lot of it, play with a Kindle. And I'm not.
Thanks for mailing me out the materials.
Oh, you're welcome. And this gentleman right here, Mr.
One of those.
Okay, I was talking about shows right here. I don't know if you can see this, this little block right here. You put all your tools in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked this up at the symposium last year. It's really neat. I can put it into my little box. It's small.
Say 4x6.
You mean in Somerset?
Yeah, well, they have the Fly Tying Symposium in the same place they now have the show in Edison.
That's coming up in mid-November. Yeah. Are you going to go again?
I'm thinking about it. I tell you what, they had all kind of people there selling stuff. Stuff like this little block right here, but they had a estate sale and I picked up, like, get this. I picked up a saddle hackle, size 16 pheasants, grizzly, for $20.
Yeah, going back up.
Size 16.
That's an $80 saddle. I got it for $20.
Wow.
And I bought some other stuff. I bought
That's all gonna be, that's all.
Was it a high grade saddle?
yeah, it was grade A. And I bought I'm being like a bandit. I bought a brown pin saddle. That's a March Brown, because I tie a lot of March Brown wet flies for the little material. And I picked that one up for $10. I mean, this guy had like maybe 20 feet of stuff, and he had a bunch of stuff in boxes. And I was there at 8 o'clock on Friday morning, the first day. And I was rummaging through that stuff. And I came back, I had to pack a box to ship the stuff I bought. I told my wife I spent about $400 on materials there. And I probably saved about $1,000, $1,500. Whatever.
Hey, sounds like you got a very understanding wife.
Yeah.
So you flew up and you stayed in a hotel, I assume.
What's that?
You flew up from your house and you stayed in a hotel?
I didn't quite understand what you said.
You took a flight up and you stayed in a hotel?
Yeah, I stayed at, the event was at a hotel.
No, and you took a flight up. You didn't drive up.
United States.
No, I took a flight up. Actually, the flight here from Alexandria, pretty good. I flew up to, for example, Grand Rapids for Fly Fest, 331 round trip.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I know.
Not bad at all.
I think maybe that's all.
So,
Hey, Peter, this is Carlton. Are you gonna make it to the March Brown trip again in next year?
You doing that again?
Yeah. Yeah, look up. I think it's the same weekend in March, which I think is like March 19th.
It's pretty tempting. I had a lot of fun. I really did.
Well, I'd sure like for you to come and join us again.
You're gonna bring your float tube?
I hope to. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I hope someone's gonna serve some bear.
Well, yeah, that would be an attraction too.
Yeah, it was a good experience, you know.
Yeah.
I'll give it some serious thought. It was a lot of fun. It really was.
You know, Peter, I've told several people about eating that bear, and every time I say that I ate some bear, they say, "Oh, it's real greasy." I said, "No, not if it's done the way that those girls did it."
And you know, my wife said the same thing. She said, "You ate bear?" I said it was delicious. It really was.
So, yeah, let me check it. Let me look and see exactly when that is.
I'll definitely think about it. It was definitely a fun trip.
Yeah, March 19th through 22nd.
Oh, really? You got those dates?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, put it down on your calendar.
You fishing up here, travel out there?
Yeah.
And.
That's it.
That much clearer. Water.
I haven't fished like this. I just know that.
You know, we're watching.
Okay. Catch, good job. Enjoyed it.
thank you, guys.
Good to talk to you, Peter.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks so much.
It's the same company that we Antarctica in January.
Okay.
And so, it's on the second channel.
Where's that? It's
They
called
did a
red.
great job. We love that trip down there.
Yeah.
But a lot of it, you know,
All right,
people.
see y'all.
Take care. What brought you here?
This is gonna be,
It's
thank you.
Investors in our office. He's a farmer from Bunkie.
Yeah, he's got a different.
Yeah, that's him.
No, I looked at it all around.
Well, I did, last Thursday, Buster and Debbie took. Cause I was running.
Yes.
Did he there?
It's it's actually not here for it's lighter than.
Oh, I thought 4:30.
No, all that stuff.
Waited.
Birthday was the next day.
Waited.
Wait, yes, sir.
I go out in the studio.
He's playing or you got
So, you know, I'm kind of short. Raised in a trailer. You go back to any kid.
It's not, you one night.
Are we offline now or?
But tell me,